Morning, everybody. It is 8:25 a.m. January 6th. Welcome to my channel. Now, the market is gapping up. Seems to be a continuation from the recovery on Friday. And this is not shocking because I'll show today in the overnight session when you break down overnight sessions with a real time trading hour session, right? There's more sessions, right? So we basically had like a little balance area. We broke it, right? And then it went below and recovered back into range. And usually you go back to the other side of range, which is what we did on Friday. Now we're getting continuation today, and there's short covering happening. So, will it continue? I don't know, but we'll just have to see. All right, we'll just have to see. Now, without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile and volume profile to find structure in the markets, along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. That is my edge. It's the way I look at the markets, and I hope to impart that knowledge on you guys. All right. Every level I have has a reason. There's nothing on my charts that does not get reactions. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, Matthew, or praise E Matthew. Um, so let's get into this. Now, hopefully, you join me every day. Now, usually it's 8:10 a.m. today. Today, the delay was because somehow, I don't know how it happened, NinjaTrader like literally corrupted one of my workspaces, so I had to literally, thank God I had workspaces from the past that I was able to import and had to rebuild myself. That was annoying this morning. So that's why I had a delay today. All right. Now, every day I do this at 8:10 a.m. So hopefully you join me, subscribe, set an alert. All right. And of course, if you enjoy my content, you can smash that like button. Give me a big thumbs up. That would be much appreciated. Okay. Now, every day I give you the lowdown, the recap of what's going on in the markets, give you the current story of the markets. I'll give you the leaders and laggards of today. I give you the market news and economic calendar. And then, of course, we go into the main event later. I analyze the NASDAQ and the ES futures and do long and short trade scenarios. Now, of course, once that market opens up, new data comes out, right? New data comes out, and then I decide if I want to put risk on or not. All right, so I did upload the trade I took last Thursday over the weekend. Okay, you can see the reasons why I took it. Check it out on my YouTube Shorts. Okay, also you can check it out on X at Gonzo719, and you can also check it out on TikTok, Gonzo719 Trader. All right, check those out. Leave a comment or a question, and I will get back to you. All right, now why don't we get right into the watch list here, and we'll see what's driving markets, what's leading. All right, let's see here. Silver leading the pack, up 2.71%. The VIX, interesting, is the VIX is up. That's weird, right? Because we're pushing up. All right. Russell up 1.12, Nasdaq's up 1.02%, Ether's up 0.98, Bitcoin's up 0.87, ES up 0.78, crude up 0.57, the Dow's up 0.39, the 10-year yield is pretty much flat, gold is flat, 30-year bonds is flat, the dollar is down 1.06%. Now the dollar's been kind of pushing up and up and up and up. A little bit of pullback in the dollar today. Moving on to the Mag 7 Plus, let's look at those together. Coinbase up 3.14%. Coinbase up 3.14%. Now Tesla got an upgrade today, up 3%. AMD getting love, up 2.90%. Nvidia's up 2.75%. I saw that I think Google is really spending capex on AI 2025. So you thought that was over? They're even increasing their spending on that. All right, I think that involves NVIDIA GPUs. Boeing up 1.82. Magnificent 7. Boeing up 1.82. Avgo, Broadcom up 1.27. Amazon up 1.14. Microsoft up 1.03. Google's up 1.01. All right, I'm just giving you the one percenters. There is not a lagger on the board. All right, moving on. Top sector stocks. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see here. Uber. Uber is up 4.43%. Okay. I did see something about robo taxis this morning. We'll look at that in a little bit. And let's see here. Snowflake up 2.08%. Qualcomm's up 1.44. Cat up 1.02. All right. Followed by Exxon, Chevron. All right. Morgan Stanley. Now, is there a laggard? The only laggard here is Salesforce. Down 0.33. Let's go to that swing trade list. ASML up 6.09%. I'm glad, not financial advice, but I'm glad I started to nibble on ASML. Um, Micron up 5.26%. Taiwan Semiconductor up 4.89%. Now, semis are getting definite love here. Super Microcomputers up 4.0, 4.80. Chewy up 4.56. Vertiv, loving it, up 4.52. Also, a proud owner of that. American Airlines up 4.48. Lyft up 4.06. So rideshare is getting love today. And it looks like solar is getting love. Enphase up 3.95. Dollar Tree, Dutch Bros, New Bank. It's another one I dabbled in. New Bank up 3.46. MicroStrategies. I saw Michael Seller said he bought another more Bitcoin. Hims up 3.27. We'll fish it out with 3%ers. Lucid up 3.04. Mara's up 3%. All right, now let's look at laggards. I think that's T-Mobile is down 1.42%, and that's not much. All right, Palantir down 0.93. I did see I think Kramer talked about buying Palantir. I think at the inverse, Kramer is happening tonight a little bit, maybe. Who knows? All right, so back to the list here. We're going to go to the sectors here. That's the guts of the market. Now, this is no shock here. Semiconductors up 2.59%. All right, followed by technology up 1.09, followed by discretionary up 0.94. Basic materials finally getting some love. Financials, industrials, everything is green. Okay, this is probably some short covering. Right. All right, let's move on. I don't know what red folder news means. But anyway, moving on to economic calendar. We'll look at what this week holds for us. All right, let's look at this here. Today we got Fed Cook speaking 9:15. Then we got S&P Global Composite PMI at 9:45 a.m. and 10 a.m. factory orders. Probably stay clear of this until the dust settles for this. This week we have JOLTS jobs. We have initial jobless claims on Wednesday. FOMC minutes on Wednesday. More Fed speak on Thursday. Now I'm pretty sure Thursday the market is closed because of Jimmy Carter's passing. I could be wrong on that. January 10th, we got non-farm payrolls, unemployment. That will be definitely important, and Michigan consumer sentiment. That is your calendar. Let's go over some news today. All right. Microsoft stock rose 1% after the software giant announced plans to invest about 80 billion in fiscal. That's what I was talking about. 80 billion in fiscal 2025 on developing data centers to train artificial intelligence models. I believe this is pushing semis. Okay, this is what I was talking about before. Now here's the T-Mobile why its stock fell 1% after downgrades from RBC Capital and Wells Fargo. Lyft stock rose 4.6 after the benchmark upgraded the ride-hailing firm stock to buy from hold. Citigroup stock rose 2.1 after Barclays upgraded stance on the U.S. banking giant. AT&T stock rose 0.6 after RBC upgraded stance. Let's see, Boeing stock rose 1.8 after the aircraft manufacturer appointed Dana Dizzy as the company's new chief information and digital officer. MicroStrategy stock rose 4.2 after the business software company unveiled its plans to issue $2 billion in preferred stock to raise funds needed to buy more Bitcoin. All right, that's some news. All right, now we can look at some upgrades here. American Airlines upgraded. Hold to buy. Let's see here. Probably some of the stuff we've already seen here. Let's see. Boeing upgraded equal at the overweight. Let's see. Dutch Bros. neutral from outperform. Citibank, Citigroup. Let's see, Chewy, neutral outperform. Capital One. Man, there's a lot of upgrades today. Discovery Financial. Let's see, 40net upgraded neutral to overweight. Lyft, a hold to a buy. Talked about that. All right, let's move on to downgrades. Who's downgraded today? CBOE, interesting, from a neutral to sell. CME from a buy to a neutral. Salesforce, there it is, a neutral to a sell. That's why Salesforce is down. All right, we're gonna end there because I want to keep today a little more brief because I had a late start and I want to make sure I prepare for the market. All right, let's move on. Is there anything in the juice? Let's see. Dollar slump is benefiting other currencies as WAPO report was vague as to which industry might be exempt from tariffs. Despite the potential aggressive move, euro and the pound are both at the strongest levels of the year. Now, I did see Trump aides explore tariffs for every country. All right, interesting. All right, now I'm going to move on to daily charts here. Okay, let's go to daily charts. Look at what we had going on here for the good old SPY. All right, so let's look at that SPY. So get a little closer here. So we had basically a little bit of a 2 day balance, right? And then boom, this is what I was talking about. Right there, went right to the previous month's lows, right? Bought up, right? Closed right at the bottom of the 2 day balance, right at the bottom. And then the day we opened up here on Friday, and I said, oh boy. And then look, got some short covering. I wouldn't call it a full out breakout, but you did break the three highs of these candles. You hit resistance, you could say at the 58 moving average, right? Where are we now? 596.60. 596.60. That is a pretty big move. Almost to the 20-day simple moving average. Okay. That is a nice gap. Right. Let's look at futures to see what that looks like. Look at that candle. Boom. You're getting continuation. It's just going to be short covering. Now look at how this market dropped and dropped, right? So, I mean, I don't know if you go all the way up to this level. Got the 20-day simple moving average. You just broke the 50-day moving average. So, have to see here. Have to see. Definitely going to be some short covering left, right? So, let's look at the Qs. Now, the Qs, same thing. They went all the way down. They actually broke the previous month's lows, right? Went all the way down to almost 505.70. Then opened up here, right? And then boom, broke three highs of these candles just like the SPY. Hit the 9 a.m. daily, close right here, right? Now, where are they? 524. All the way up here to the right past the 28 simple moving average. Okay. Pretty big gap again. And let's look at the NASDAQ futures to just see how it looks. Now, what are we doing? We're going right up into last week's highs. Right at the 20-day simple moving average and last week's highs. These oranges are last week's highs and lows. That's last week's range. Okay. We're getting resistance right there. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the triple-headed monster and see what the bond market's doing, what the dollar's doing. All right, so this is the 10-year yield, and we're in a range, okay? In a range, 4.632 yield to 5.5 yield. What do we do? Go higher, break down lower? Don't know. Don't know, but this is smart money, okay? This is the smart money. Now, let's see this dollar. Good old Dixie. Getting a pretty nasty pullback today. Very interesting. So the 107.72, same thing, could break lower. Don't know what happens from here. Okay. Now, we got our fear gauge here, the VIX, 30 days out of fear. Let's see where we're at. Got a couple spikes up here, almost to 20. We are at a 16.34 VIX. Now, this is 30 days out of fear, and a 16 VIX is a 1% expected move, plus or minus in the S&P 500. All right, that wraps up that. I think we're ready for the main event. I think we're ready for the main event, where we analyze markets. We analyze the Nasdaq and the ES futures together. Okay, let's do that now. After I had to recreate these charts this morning, which was a pain in the butt. That was so annoying. All right, let's look at this together. And we're going to look at structure first. Actually, maybe we just go over what happened on Friday. Let's do that first. So this is your market profile and volume profile. And let's just go over what happened on Friday, right? So oh man, I had my finger on the trigger. We opened up, we pushed up, and I was like, give me this into demand and the 59.36 most traded price of the week, which is a very important level, right? And it came right in there. And I was literally going, all right, but the risk to reward, when I waited a little bit, I didn't like it. So I passed, and then, the rest is history. Just kind of pushed up the rest of the day. You're not always going to get, you know, that's just trading. You can't, what am I going to say? I didn't take it, so I was on the very close to taking it, but that doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. So then we winded up closing at the highs, right? Wind up closing at the highs. Now, let's look at our rolling profile. So we got excess here. We got our value area. That's 70% of the trading volume. And now we're putting excess, right? So we're breaking all of these highs here right now. It's a lot of short covering, right? So that probably will get more fuel to it when we open, right? Because remember, look, we closed at the top of this range. So like shorts are still there who didn't cover, right? So now they're going to get punished today. So, all right, let's look at this together. So we're gapping up. Now let's talk about gap rules. All right. Most bullish is a gap and a go. So that's number one. Number two is a pullback that fails to fill the gap higher. That's number two. Number three is you fill the gap, which would be 59.96, and you take off, right? Now, number four is when you go back into range, which just means the buyers aren't as strong. It doesn't mean you can't go higher. It's just not as strong. So those are gap rules. All right, let's look at this. We opened here in the overnight. This is the only short activity to this much long activity, and we're at the top of the range. Okay, this is about 75% net long in the overnight. Okay, very important here. About 60.34 is the most traded price. You can see it right here and hitting last week's highs. That's why it's getting resistance, right? So when I look at this, 70%, 75% net long, we know we're long from here, 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 right? And you're at the top of the range, and these are longs trying to push this up. Okay, this is setting up for kind of a little bit of a fade, a little bit of a correction here. Okay, when you're at the top of a range like this, and you got a lot of people, long, and you go through this, could cause a little correction to here. Okay, all right. Now, what other levels do we have to talk about? So we have a weak low right here. Confluence low, I like to call it. Why, right? Overnight low lines up with this 59.80. 59.80, you can see here, is a high volume node. Okay? If you lose that, yeah, that'd be pretty powerful. And today, this could actually become 59.80, the most traded price of the week. It's not that far off. Okay, I think it probably will. So that's very important level, 59.80. Okay, you can see it lines up with this demand and the gap fill. Okay, you don't want to lose that if you're a bull. Okay, same thing, right? Look at all these levels. You pushed up. If you were to go back into range, this could get scary and we can go back down. Okay, what other levels would I be looking at? I think that's really what I'm looking at here. Now you have a gap that's unfilled up above us. There's a gap here. Okay, so that's an unfilled gap. All right, now I think we are ready for some scenarios. Okay, let's do it. All right, I'm going to start off with the bull and what I'd like to see. Now, I'm not a gap and go guy. I'm not just going to go long. Remember, this is last week's highs, this orange line. I know there's a lot of traders right in here. It's the most trades right here around 60.34. Okay, remember I said we're 75% net long in the overnight. So, what I would like to see, push up and pull back. Come through this. That's okay. And you have week to date view up right here and demand. Okay? And demand. And let's just see if we can hold that. If we can hold it, I think we fill the gap. And maybe we push right up into this supply zone right here around 60.71. Okay? Now, we could also get a deeper pullback. This would fill the gap, 59.96. Okay? Fills the gap, goes right into a demand zone, and guess what we have below us, 59.80. This is really where the bulls need to step up, right? And if they do one of these, you can go boom, fill that gap, go back up there. Okay, below 59.80 puts buyers on notice. Okay, puts buyers on notice. So I don't want to see the market when I'm long below that level, 59.80. All right. Now, as far as the short side goes, I just gave you one of them, right? So I'm going to explain it again. We're 75% net long, long from here, long from here. So lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, right? I mean, higher low, right? That's one time framing. So here we go. So what I would like if I am looking to short now, 75% net long, we have in our favor. At the top of the range, in our favor. We know 60.34 is the most traded price of the overnight. So we could even come up to here, touch that gap, go through the open. Now, if you go through 60.34, you're going to correct at least to here, and then it's all gravy. Because then if you come down, you're going to test the gap fill, and now 59.80 comes into question. If you break through that and hold, you're going to go down, okay, and go down to the most traded right price of the week, 59.36, 59.36, okay. This could definitely, if you did this, cause a cascading effect, and we could start to go back down again and test last week's lows at 58.74. Okay, I am not really going to be looking short. All right, it is a tradable thing. It's that I think there's going to be more short covering that's going to happen, but I don't know. I can't predict the future. All right, I can't predict the future. All right, moving on to the Nasdaq. We could wrap this up. All righty. So here we go. Nasdaq. Big gap up as well. Right? And we're coming in to a bunch of single prints here. Okay, let's even make this a little bigger. Now, if you don't know what single prints are, that's just a market profile terminology. It's just basically showing you where emotional buying or selling was from the past. Now, in this case, it's emotional selling, And usually, you see how thin this volume is here? Usually, you could see it on the composite too, right here, this orange. Usually, that should not cause resistance, right? It's just a swift move, okay? This is causing resistance and it's last week's highs. So both futures are in hitting last week's highs. There could be some profit taking there, right? If you were long from down here, you're like, that's a nice trade, right? So let's go to here. Let's just look at structure. You have that little excess, you got value area here, and now we're up here. Okay. Most traded price of the week is 213, still right here. Okay. What we do on Friday? We just pushed down, went down here, and guess what? You held the most traded price 213, and then you just pushed up, right? All right. So about 75% net long as well. There's only short activity. There's all this long activity. The same thing. Look, all the most traded price is all right here. Okay. All these are longs here. 217.23 that price is. Okay. So this could correct. Now I'm not going to go over gap rules because we already talked about it. All right. We already talked about that. Now we have some demand zones here. All right. And what's that important level? Well, in this case, we're going to say overnight low and the close right here. So around 214, let's see, 214.78. Nasdaq just wants to hold that level. You can see this 214.90 right here was broken, but then we came back to it, right? So this is the level here. This is the breakout. You just want to defend it, right? If you lose this, like I said, you can go back down to the most traded price of 213, and then that is kind of bearish if you break that down, right? So it's kind of the same setup, and we'll very similar to the ES. So we're just going to get right into scenarios here. I don't have to go into any length, all right? It's very similar structure. So let's start with the bull case. All right, now there's single prints above you. You don't have that in the ES. Okay, if you come in here and find resistance and you pull back, this is your first chance. This demand zone. You could clean these singles and now go up to the most traded price of the month, which is 220. 220. There's also supply here. Okay, any one of these, boom, you could do it. All right, that's a big move, but it can happen. And then this is the gap fill. You could also defend this and work your way up. Maybe you only get to here if you do that. Okay, 219. Okay, that's all I'm looking for as far as the long side. Now, as far as the short side, remember, you're long, 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 long getting paid. 74% net long in the overnight, right? And the most traded price is right there. And we're at the top of the range. All sets up for a little baby correction or a big correction. Okay, so what I would like to see, if I'm a bear, push into these single prints, and if they act as resistance, that's bearish. If you come through this most traded price, you're going to at least correct to here. Now it's a matter of, do we start chewing up the overnight activity? If we do, there's the test. 214.78. Buyers want to hold it, sellers want to break it, the bears want to break that, and then we can go down to 213. Okay, this would put buyers on notice, and we could start to cascade down all the way to last week's lows at 209.83. Same thing as the ES. Don't know if any of this happens, but I'm prepared. Okay, that's all it's about, is being prepared. Now, hopefully you enjoyed that analysis. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you did. All right, and hopefully you guys can join me every day. This day I wasn't anticipating NinjaTrader to corrupt one of my workspaces. However, join me every day at 8, 10 a.m. Have a cup of coffee, tea, water, whatever you're driving in your car, whatever you want to do. I give you the recap. What's going on with the market? Stick with your boy. All right, stick with your boy. I'm not going to steer you wrong. It's just a different way to look at the markets. Okay? Feel free to ask questions, comments, whatever, right? Now, Praise E. Matthew did point out to me that my Discord link was bad, right? Now, and I figured out I didn't know that I could set expirations on them. So now the link is set to never expire. So it should work. So I do have a Discord. It's in its infancy. Infancy. It's not a full fledged thing. I do go on it live. I'm going on it live, but it's in its infancy. It's not a full thing yet. Feel free to join. The more people join, then that will become a full fledged, all out community. Okay? That is the goal. So go to my YouTube. You can see the link. Okay? My YouTube channel with all the links. All right? All right. We got our plan today. Like it. Now, big gap ups are never easy to trade. All right. So, and it's a Monday. But today is really when institutions and everybody's back to trade the markets. The holidays are over. So let's have some good trading. Okay. Everybody have a great day. And I'll see everybody tomorrow. If you want to join in the Discord today, show me some love and join it. All right.